Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I thought that we would do something that is not often done on my channel. We're going to be going through and putting together a full face of natural makeup. I'm going to be pairing that with some of the beauty trends or predictions that I've seen for 2022, and then we can just talk about it. In general though, this will be a natural makeup look, an everyday look with my spin on it. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so recently I've had a lot of time on my hands. I'm hanging out at hospitals, just sitting around doing not much of anything. And I've been reading up on all of the fashion and makeup blogs. I think in the last couple years with starting my YouTube channel and working from home and kids, school here at home, it's been really busy. And so I actually stopped reading all of the makeup and fashion blogs. And so lately I have been, and I've noticed a couple of things. And I've mentioned some of them in my videos as like beauty trends that I've seen are coming back up, or maybe just starting, things we haven't seen in a while. I recently watched a collab that Angela Nyquist and Kelly Gooch did during Vlogmas, I think, where they were putting together a compilation of their 2022 beauty predictions. Some of that included fashion and nails and hair, things like that. But it was interesting because I've seen them do this for a couple years in a row, and sometimes they're kind of spot on. And so today, I'm not making any predictions. I'm not even cool like that. I don't even know what's coming. I just kind of follow the curve, take what I like, use it, don't use it, whatever. But I found it interesting because they did, especially Kelly Gooch, she talked about how the natural glam or like the natural everyday smoky eye is making a comeback, she thinks. And so that got me thinking for a couple of different reasons. One, I mentioned in my previous video that I'm just really busy lately, and so I don't really have time to just sit around and just fool around with all the multi-chromes and everything else and all the color that I normally do. But also because I also spoke about a brand that I'm really, really loving, and their approach is very minimalistic and very natural and soft, and so I thought we could combine the two and use that. I'm talking about Merit Beauty. I did mention that they had sent me a very generous PR package with a full collection of their line. I, at the time, was not able to film a video because that's when my husband and I got really, really sick with COVID last year. I've been playing around with the products and I really like some of the stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and start doing my makeup, and then we'll talk about the beauty trends that I think apply to what we're doing here today, which is like a natural makeup look. One thing that I wanted to note though is that I can't remember which of the creators had this prediction, but they thought that the thin brows were making a comeback. I wanted to point this out because I always get a ton of comments on my brows, like how do I achieve the look? They really like my brows, and so of course that is very flattering. But one thing that I have to point out is that I have very sparse brows. Like I do some major work when it comes to like the growth serums and everything else, filling them in when I'm doing my brows, all of that. So if we were sort of trending towards a thinner brow, I'm already there. I'm ready. So as you can see here, like I'm still filling in my brows the way that I normally do, but I'm focusing on a thinner line, and I'm not going to draw in extra lines or extra little hairs this far into the face here, because we want to have a little bit of a thinner brow. I still went with the same style, but it's a thinner brow. Okay, let's go ahead and jump in. Don't forget to hit the like if you like what you see. Definitely consider subscribing. There's gonna be a whole bunch of everything this year, you guys. With my very busy schedule, we're gonna talk about new releases sometimes, we're gonna talk about beauty trends sometimes, we'll do some get readies with me, some shop my stash. And to be honest, I mean, you should subscribe, hit the notification bell to all, because my uploads will be somewhat sporadic as we kind of get the year going. My husband's still in the hospital right now in the ICU, so I just kind of upload whenever I can, in between kids, work, husband, hospital, all of that. So definitely do that. We're gonna go ahead and start with the eyes, because that's kind of like the routine that I've been having the last few months. For my eyes, I thought, you know what, we're working on a natural makeup look, so I'm going to go with Natasha Denona. I have the Natasha Denona Dark Palette, the face palette that was recently released. And then my sister gifted me this 5-pan palette. This one is Ayana. I don't know if this was like a BoxyCharm exclusive or what it was, but it's really pretty, somewhat cool tone, very natural, and we'll just kind of put a look together. Now, one of the beauty trends or beauty predictions that they had were that not only is it going to be like an everyday smoky natural eye look, but they believe that it's going to be more of a matte look. Not a lot of shimmer, not a lot of multi-chrome. Well, one of them said not a lot of shimmer, not a lot of multi-chrome. And that's actually kind of been my go-to lately. I just want to use one or two matte colors, kind of put it all over the lid, maybe deepen it up near the lash line or on the outer corner, and then move on with my life. Because we think that we are transitioning into a time where we're going to have an everyday smoky eye, that's what I'm going to work on today. I'm going to go ahead and go into this brown here. All it says, it's a crease color. Sure. I hate how Natasha Denona does that, actually. Like, why do you have to name them that? Just give them a name or just say shade number 4, you know, whatever. Because obviously we know a crease color for me is not going to be a crease color for someone deeper than me or someone that's more fair than I. So anyway, that annoys me, but I'm not going all the way up, actually. I'm keeping it a little bit low, and it's because we're going to do an everyday smoky eye. I'm now going to use one of the shadows in the Face Glam palette, and I actually need to use this mirror. So are you ready? Are you ready? So satisfying. I know. We're going to go ahead and go into this shade here, which is the Transition. Again, she named it the Transition. Now, the first shade that I went in with was a little bit of a cooler toned eyeshadow, but again, we're going for everyday, so I don't mind mixing the two. There are no rules in makeup. I'm going to keep it pretty low to the lash line, again, just like the first color, but I'm going to build out the outer corner just a little bit. That actually does not look that bad. I thought it just wasn't gonna go because we're mixing cool tones with warm tones, but I kind of like it. Although we've kept the eye fairly light, as you can see, like it is building a little bit of depth and dimension there towards the outer eye, maybe giving it a little bit of a smoky appearance. And we're gonna smoke it out even more with a little bit of eyeliner in the waterline, but I kind of like where this is at. And it took me like 0.2 seconds to put together. Okay, so here are the eyes. I think they're smoked out just enough for every day. I think they look really, really pretty. Again, very easy to put together. I did carve out my brows just a little bit just to kind of emphasize that we're going with the thinner brow today. So let's go ahead and move into complexion. So one of the predictions that they had is that we're going to transition more from an everyday glowy, very light skin tint type of coverage into more of a matte look. Now, as much as I love the light coverage, I also tend to go more matte during the summer because I do have combination oily skin. But today I'm going to show you exactly how I mattify a look even with lighter foundation coverage, not only to control the oil in this area, but in general, we're going again with a very natural, very soft, somewhat matte look that looks very effortless for every day. So the way that I start by doing that is I will take a loose powder and just go in very, very lightly with some layers of powder before I do my foundation. For today, the powder that I love to use that's very finely milled and just really, really nice is the Tatcha Silk powder. So I'm going to open it up. I like to use this brush when I do this. This is the BK Beauty 103. It's just the perfect size. It's not that dense. It's fluffy, but it's not huge or too small. It's just perfect. And I just kind of tap a little bit into the top here, and I'll just go in with some powder to mattify the shine down just a little bit before I go in with my foundation. Now that we've mattified the shine down just a little bit with the loose powder, I'm going to go ahead and start in with my foundation. Now I'm going to be using the Merit foundation stick. It's the Perfecting Foundation Stick. They market it as a foundation / concealer stick, which I really like. I'm in the shade Khaki. I will say it was a little difficult to figure out what my shade is. I still don't know if this is exactly my shade, but I'm okay with it. It's a little warm and golden. But once everything, concealer and everything is said and done, it actually works really nice. And so I also was gifted this foundation or complexion brush. It's like a little flat kabuki complexion brush that works really nice. I'm just gonna work that in. As I mentioned in my previous video, what I like to do is I like to start with very thin layers. If I need more coverage in certain areas, that's fine. In general, I'm not trying to hide any freckles or, breakout scars or anything like that. I'm okay with them peeking through. I just want it to look more even toned when I do my foundation and really show my skin, making it look natural. So that's what I'm going for. Okay, so complexion is done. As you can see, it looks really natural. It looks very even. My complexion, I don't have the redness that you saw here before I started with my complexion. Also around the nose, it looks very even toned. And so that's what we like. That's what we're going for. Again, I don't know if it's a perfect match, but it definitely still works with my complexion. I will leave some complexion or foundation shades down below so that you can compare, only because, like I said, their website made it a little difficult to pick the right shade. I'm going to go ahead and take just a little bit more in this area. With a natural foundation or natural makeup look, what we will find is that we're not necessarily going to work too hard to like brighten up the under eye too much. I'm still going to go in with a little bit of concealer for a little brightness, but not too much. For the most part, we want to look like we just woke up like this, you know what I mean? Like this is our skin, very minimal effort to look pretty for the day, an everyday look. And so I'm not going to brighten too much. I will just a little bit, but for the most part, this is why I love this foundation stick, because it is a complexion / concealer stick. And I think it works really nicely. I'm going to take one of my favorite concealers for 2021 and just pop a tiny little bit here in the inner corner of the eye, not too much, and I'm gonna let it sit there for a little bit. I'm not gonna worry about brightening up in my forehead or my nose, the bridge of my nose or my chin at all. We're gonna stay very, very natural, and so I'm just gonna leave it there. While that dries a little bit, I am going to go with a little bit of a contour. So another beauty trend, which I think still falls in to the natural makeup look, is going to be like a little bit more contouring, less of the highlight. And so I'll do just a little bit. The reason why this contour stick works though is because it's not too deep. I know that when we bronze or we contour, we go with more of a stark difference in the contour shade that we choose, but this one's light medium, Makeup by Mario stick, and not too bad. So I'll grab the same foundation brush so that it looks seamless, and I'll just work that in. See how it provided a little bit of contouring, a little bit of shadowing, but still very, very natural. There's not this harsh line or very deep shadow. It's very, very natural looking. Although it's a natural makeup look, I like it because it still somewhat defines or carves your cheekbones just a little bit. I mean, I've always had like those little girl, like chubby little cheeks, so I can always use a little bit of this. Put the rest on my nose there, just a little bit. Okay, I'm excited. The eyes look somewhat smoky. Like, does she have eyeshadow on? The face looks very even toned, very mattified, like she just washed her face. Now we're just going to take a little bit of this concealer and just press it in. If you notice, I'm not really going like all the way out to create that snatched eye appearance. I'm just keeping it right here in the inner corner, just to kind of wake me up a little bit. You see the difference there? And just make it look brighter but not snatched. We're going for natural. Okay, the next step is going to be blush, and if you guys saw my previous video, you know that my favorite blush for 2021 was going to be the Merit Cream Blush. I just thought it was so effortless, so beautiful. This is the blush that I am going to be using today. However, it's a little bit berry. It's a little bit, more pigment than we go with for a natural look, but I'm going to show you how we're going to tone it down afterwards. and it's gonna be just fine. So I usually will go with my brush straight into the packaging here, but today I'm gonna put a little bit on my hand because I don't want to overdo it. And I'm gonna be using my BK Beauty collab brush with Angie Hot and Flashy here. And I'm just gonna go very light, but just on the very top here. See that? Just kind of like pinched it a little bit because we're going for the natural look. And we're not going to bring it all the way to the front. I just think this gives like a perfect flushed look, just enough to make you look like, you know, you're a little bit flushed, you know, you woke up like this, you got up, made your coffee, went to work, and yes, that's what we're going for. Now, if this got a little bit out of control, we were going to just mute it down with a little bit of powder at the end. I'm also going to be using a little bit of bronzer before we're done, so that will also kind of help mute it just a little bit. It'll turn it into more of a natural bronzy look versus just red. With a natural makeup look, you don't want any blush that's going to be too crazy, but I do believe that there's room for a little bit more bronzer because, again, we want to go with where the sun naturally hits the face, and we're going to bronze just a little bit. The one that I'm using, just to make sure that the skin stays very light and fresh and not makeup-y at all, is going to be my Dior Powder No Powder. This is in the shade 6N, so a lot deeper than what I would use for an overall setting powder, but it really works nicely to just give a hint of bronziness to those areas where I normally apply bronzer. So this is the shade we're using. I mean, this stuff, you guys, is so good. You can just layer and layer and layer, and it will not make it look like you have heavy makeup at all. Okay, do you guys see just how pretty it played with the blush? Very natural, but somewhat of a shadow there to kind of create the silhouette a little bit. I love it. I love it. Okay, the powder that we're going to go with to finish the look off is going to be my Kosas powder. This is the Cloud setting powder by Kosas that is so popular right now. I like it because we did mattify a little bit before we started our foundation, so we're not very shiny at all. This is going to set the face very nicely. Not completely matte though. It is going to give it a little bit of a more natural look, which is what we're going for. So although the trend for 2022 is to go more matte, I don't necessarily want to fully mattify the look completely because this has to be an everyday look that looks effortless and beautiful. So as you can see, it's quite matte, but I still get a little bit of luminosity there and there, which makes it look natural. Okay, let's go back to the predictions. So one of the predictions for 2022 was that we were going to transition into an everyday smoky eye. So as you can see, we did build some dimension and some definition here in the eye, but I want it just a little bit smokier because this is not totally screaming smoky to me. So I'm going to go back into this 5-pan palette by Natasha Denona, and I'm going to go in with a very specific brush. The brush that I'm going to go in with is this is also a BK Beauty brush in collaboration with Angie Hot and Flashy, but it is the tiniest of little blending brushes, you guys. For someone that has hooded eyes or smaller eyes, maybe a little more deep set, this is going to be the perfect little brush. It's so tiny, but it just works so well. This is the A504. I don't know if they sell them individually or in bundles only, but I will link it down below. I will also leave my code because you can save 10% by using my code. It is affiliated, but just wanted you guys to be aware. This is the perfect little blending brush. We're just going to stay very close to the lash line just to smoke it up a tad bit. Just enough to kind of give it like, ooh, smoky. I don't even know what that means. But you see how it's smoking it up just a tiny bit? And I'm almost going just like in a little line and then just blending it out at the end. The way that we make it so that it stays natural looking is we stay closer to the lash line. We're not going to do this big old production in the top because that will make it look a little bit more glam, a little bit more for a night look. You know, the looks I tend to do with like the color. We're just going to keep it low, and that'll make it so that it stays looking very basic, very everyday. I'm going to take the first brush that I used and just kind of soften everything up. Look at that. Beautiful. Everyday smoky look. Love it. Love it. I'm going to set everything with my Charlotte Tilbury setting spray. Okay, so now we're going to finish up the look. I'm going to go into brows and lashes and lips. If you noticed, there was no use of highlighter. Now, you guys know how much I love my highlighter, but I really do believe that we're transitioning into a more natural look where it's going to be more about the glow of the skin peeking through the foundation products and not necessarily like glow into the gods with like crazy highlighters. And so I did not use a highlighter, but there's still a little bit of glow, and I really do believe that the Kosas helped with that. So now let's go ahead and go into brows. Okay, so look at this. This is looking so pretty. It's natural, but it looks done up and like you look put together for the day. Now we're gonna go into brows, and I have this Merit Brow 1980 volumizing pomade. I'm very excited because, as you know, my favorite go-to brow product or brow gel right now is going to be the Kosas one. I really like it. So you have it in this little container here. Really cute. And when you open it up, it has this tiny little spoolie at the end. I feel like this spoolie is like a little bit chunkier, like more substantial. So this actually works really, really nice. So we'll see. We're just gonna set our brows with it. This is in the shade, what shade is this? This is in the shade just brown. That's what it says, brown, which is perfect. They look really nice. Everything worked perfectly. I really like the spoolie size. We'll see. We'll see. I'll keep you guys updated on how they last throughout the day, but you know, I mean, it's a brow gel and I like it. Okay, next. Now this one's gonna be hard, you guys, because I just came off of telling you that my new holy grail is the Bare Minerals mascara. Now, I'm not expecting this to do that. You know, again, Merit Beauty has a very minimalistic approach to beauty. They're just supposed to swipe over the lashes, make them look a little more natural, and maybe darken them up a little bit, but nothing too crazy. I'm still gonna curl my lashes, and then we'll go ahead and go into this and see, you know? Okay, so here we go. I like how sleek it is. I mean, I just overall love the aesthetic of Merit Beauty. I think it's very classy, very simple. Let's go ahead. Let me see if I can read what the claims are. It just says clean lash, your go-to mascara for every day. It tints, lengthens, and lifts lashes with no smudging, ever. With no smudging, period, ever, period. We'll see. I will leave a pinned comment down below to kind of update you on end of day for the brow gel as well as the mascara. I have tried the other products and I know I love them, hence why the blush made it to the best of 2021. Okay, we did the mascara, you guys, and you know, it is definitely not dethroning my my holy grail at the moment, not at all. But what I can tell you is like a minimalist mascara. Let me tell you the things that I loved. First of all, my lashes do not look like all they have is a tint. I mean, they look pretty much done. How can I show you guys? See? I mean, they're there. They're there for sure. I really did like how it did lift them. Although I did curl them, sometimes the curl will kind of fall immediately. This time it didn't. And I don't like the formulas that are really, really wet initially that take a couple weeks to dry up a little before they reach like max potential. With this one, it was not a very wet formula, but I put like 3 or 4 layers to see if I could build it up for volume or anything. They stay thin but fluffy. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but I really, really like this. I can definitely agree with the claims that this is an everyday mascara. I really, really like it. I might even see myself pairing it with my Holy Grail Bare Minerals, but for an everyday mascara, I think it's nice. I think it's clean. And like I said, it doesn't build up to too much volume, but it makes them look there, but so natural. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And we're at the end. We're going to do lips. I like to always do like a very nude natural lip. We're also going to be topping it with a Merit Beauty lip oil. That was the campaign that they had reached out to me for, because in August or September, they had released 4 new shades. And so I went with a shade that I thought would be really, really pretty to top like a nude lip. Really, really cute. This shade is Taupe. Simply Taupe. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be lining my lips, filling them in with lipstick with my favorite nude combo right now, which is going to be the Lisa Eldridge Velvet Affair. I'm obsessed with the lip liner. I'm so happy to have it. And so I'll just pair those two, and then we'll show you the demo of the gloss. Okay, guys, we have the lips on. I am loving, I feel like the lips give a little bit of that peachy tone coming through that plays into the warmer shade that we used on the eyes, but I think all together looks really, really nice. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna top it with some gloss, and it's going to be this Merit Beauty gloss. So cute. Again, look at the aesthetic, you guys. It's so, so pretty. But it's gonna give us the perfect dewiness to the lips because we don't have a lot of glow going on. You know, we're quite natural. I wouldn't say super, super matte, but a little like demi matte, you know? And so I think the gloss will be a good little focal point, if you will. This is so pretty. Okay, so by applying it onto the lips, I can see some pigment, you guys. I'm gonna do a swatch so you guys can see what it would look like without lipstick. But that is delicious. I love it. Ooh, so it's definitely got some substantial pigment. So even if you wanted to wear it on its own, I think that it would look gorgeous. On top of this Velvet Affair by Lisa Eldridge, I think it looks delicioso. Okay, so here we go, you guys. This is the final look. Oh my gosh, I think it's so pretty. We followed some trends that we think we might see in 2022. So we did the everyday smoky eye. We went with more of a matte complexion, nothing too crazy, but we kept it very natural. We still have a little bit of blush, a little bit of bronzer. The brows slightly thinned out to give them a more natural appearance. And the lip. The lip, I love the lip. Honestly, I think I would have loved the lip just with the gloss because it does have some nice pigment to go with it. But this is beautiful, you guys. This is what a natural makeup look looks like in 2022, possibly, following some beauty trends. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that it was helpful. Let me know what your thoughts are. Like, what are your go-to neutral palettes, most importantly, because I'm actually very inexperienced with neutral palettes, so I'd love to know what your favorite is. Also, let me know if you've tried Merit Beauty. Man, this is beautiful, you guys. And I have used the foundation and the blush all day long under mask, you know, under humidity a little bit. Like, it works very, very nicely, and it's very long lasting for me. So I think that this is a great thing to look at if you're looking to purchase a foundation stick or something that's just so convenient, like on the go. I mean, I don't really recommend driving and doing your makeup at the same time, but I just remember back in the day when I was growing up, like how my sister used to do her makeup, and it's like, and like I think about when we used to commute to work and stuff, and so I think like these products, like these are so easy. You could totally do your makeup like at the red light. Don't drive and do your makeup, but you know what I'm saying? And you could totally walk into work like looking very put together. Everything looks great, like you're ready to work, but you're still looking super fresh and done up. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what else you'd like to see. I'm working on some skincare content too because I think that's important. Let me know what other ideas you'd like to see on my channel. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in shopping any of these products, they will be linked down below. Go ahead and leave me a like, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!